Good morning. Welcome to Crossroads Church. My name is Jessica. So glad to be with you. I invite you to stand. See the world, you're so sad. I see the world in love. I see the world in love. See the world your way, and I'm not afraid to follow. I see the world your way. In light, I see the world in wonder. I see the world in light. Mercy, living color. I see the world in love. I see the world in freedom. I see Jesus.
Thank you for joining us for part of the holiday weekend. My name is Nicole, and I will be one of your hosts this morning. In my normal everyday, this weekend, we're pausing in the teaching series, Keeping Hope Alive, and instead Pastor Ryan will be addressing the room. You might want to consider how they might feel about all of this, and if you'd like to, they are welcome to join our children's program from birth to turn your hearts to prayer.
Your presence, Lord. God is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your presence. I've tasted and seen that is what your presence, Lord. More aware of your presence, the glory of your goodness. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill here. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be yours, Lord. Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall. Never failed me yet. Never failed me yet. Evidence, you never failed me yet. I Jesus, your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. Mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made it. I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way, and I believe I'll see you do it. I'll see you do it again. I'll see you do it again. You never have. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet.
It's Memorial Day. We can be praying for families who have lost a loved one who gave their lives in sacrifice. Tragedy of it. We do. Lord, in darkness, and through us.
I'm work for a German industrial air compressor company. So I basically help manufacturers meet or connect with compressed air systems that's a good fit for them, and a lot fit for them, and a lot.
That is correct, yes. Let us know if you would like to connect. So also, please, if you have one of these in your hand, that's great. If you do not, go ahead and raise.
If you're new here, please check out the morning. Include desserts, appetizers, live as well as silent auctions, and kids' peace party for kids up to 4th grade as well. You have supporting local
Experience to our silent items or experiences. So if you've got that condo in Hawaii or Costa Rica or a cabin in the love to donate, please stop by the booth in the atrium to learn more about the gala and to find out how to purchase tickets.
So as you can see, there's a lot going on. So take a close look at your Connect card, as well as feed, the program, and the feed, which is our weekly newsletter. So hang on to your notes. Pastor Ryan will be up in a minute.
Today, for doing that, it's always good to see normal here, unlike myself. Right? Just so you know that. But hey, just curious if anybody would like to change places with me today. I'm very happy to came on a holiday weekend, and this is what I'm getting. Oh my gosh, right? So the whole point of Colorado about 4 years ago, Carlos come out to a conference that I was a part of leading in New England. He cannot wait to be here. He's coming from Puerto Rico. You're bite from his TikTok. Oh, I'm not giving. Loud. Some of you are going to get mad at me and say that I'm too political, and some of you are going to get mad and say I'm not political enough. That's what's going to happen. It just is what it is, right? I'm not here to tell. Some of you are going to get mad at me and say that I'm too political, and some of you are going to get mad and say I'm not political enough. That's what's going to happen. It just is what it is, right? I'm not here to tell you that's coursing through us, to gaze upon the snake on the, to look at the venom, the disease, the pain, the hurt, and to honor that reality, right? And so that's what we're going to do a little bit of today. So this is something that we don't even have a word for that happened. Know this just last year on March 22nd at King Soopers in Boulder. We had a mass shooting. The disconnect, the anger spills over towards one another. There's passion, there's arguing, there's all of that. And the question does, kingdom are worth asking. We might only get through 3 to be real honest with you, but I'm going to give you 7 questions that I think are important that in seeing an end to God. These are 7 questions that I'm asking myself. So this is kind of like one of those Paul moments. Follow me as I follow Christ, or don't, okay? This is just, violence is the actual, marring, killing is the ending of the image of God on this earth of someone, and yet we're kind of okay with it. I'm okay with it, okay? So trust me, I'm not people win and the bad people die. Probably, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'll probably see it. The Dennis and I were talking about this, the new Top Gun movie that's out, right? I'm assuming in this Top Gun movie that they're blowing other humans out of the sky. And we're... So if we all can agree that killing children is abhorrent, and if we aren't willing to wrestle with the violent realities that we experience in our scriptures and almost see through the lens of Jesus a denouncement, and then you look at it here. Jesus doesn't have time for the kids. No, but Jesus called the children to himself and said, let the little children come to me and do not prevent them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. A man of God like a child will not enter. And one of these verses gives us a projection of the normalcy of a violent world and our understanding of the world onto God. And until we're willing, but we all said, killing children is abhorrent. And so in some way, we have to wrestle with this important question. And I'm always asking myself, why is violence okay? Why would I, when my children were getting older and watching movies, why did I say things like, well, it's just that rated, or it's just that actually brings us together as violence? The question we have to wrestle with. There's no answer, it's just worth asking. Second question that I'm wrestling with is, how did Jesus respond to the violence of his? What is that response that Jesus would have? How would I picture and imagine Jesus in our clothing, in our dress, walking around in our time? Like, how does that relation? I don't believe pure. Like we'll all be the same religion. We'll all look the same. We'll all dress the same. We'll all believe the same. And it's kind of a lie. The power of, and why we think we scapegoat, right? Because inside of us, there's this desire to know who's good. I don't care if people believe this is literally true or not. It doesn't bother me one bit. If you believe literally that a snake was talking, that's fine. I probably at one point in my life believed that. I don't hold that now. I don't think it's important. I think we come to the question of what does it mean? And I think it means the same thing, whether you take it literally or whether you take it metaphorically, okay? My brain just can't get past snakes don't talk. That's just where I am. You have more faith than I do. Totally fine with it's bad. And there's a point in our lives when we realize that just leaves us totally exposed. And here's what we do. We eat from this tree all the time. And when we eat from the tree and we decide that we can decide who's in and who's out, who's got the right idea for gun control, who's got the wrong idea, bad, and who's evil, and we get into it, it's a necessary idea of the garden is a lot around the throne, but every nation, tribe, and tongue is around the throne, but every nation, tribe, and tongue is distinctive, right? We're not all the same. But when we decide, oh, you're out, it just leads to death. They're to blame. It's those people that believe this about gun control. It's those people that believe this about assault rifles. It's those people that do this. It's those people that do that. It's those when violence comes at such an abhorrent level, then I take note. Right? But scapegoating just absolves me of any response I am on. I have a master's degree in the knowledge of good and evil from a pretty prestigious school, for goodness sake. If there's anybody qualified, be careful. Ephesians says, finally, draw your strength from the Lord and from his mighty power. Put on the armor of God so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. For our strength is not with flesh and blood, our surface, that are the real issues, like greed and poverty. See, these are the demons that I see us fighting, right? My battle isn't with the person who is the product of abuse, the product of anger, the product of hatred. My enemy is not the person who has been neglected. My enemy is not the person who has been wounded and so is now wounding. My enemy, the follower of Jesus, we're like, I get it, but if I'm following Jesus, who would say, I died for the whole world, every person, there's something to me, time to address. No, these things have to go together. It's the same time. Those things have to be consistent. Thank you very much, Jesus, for that one. Okay. I was like, what does that smell? This is like my story. It's who I am. It's the things that I enjoy, my internal. It's my ego, right? It's important. You got to have it. It's just only going to take you so far, right? As you grow and get older, you realize we live a lot of our time in nationality. These are all of our groups, and they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. And they leverage our story, right, to create a sense of community, right? But then there's this good for the big story of peace on earth, good for the big story of wholeness of all people, regardless of their faith, their gender, their sexuality, whatever it might be. Am I thinking good for the big story of peace? The danger that I think we have citizenship, God, which I think is this big story, this story of redemption of all humanity, of making all things right through partnership with us. So which dome am I thinking in? We get stuck in I get it. We think like Americans. We think like Christians. We think like hunters. We think like gun owners. We think like activists. We think like pacifists. We think story, life in the spirit, has to subjugate all these other little stories and set terms for many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. One nation shall, house of Jacob, thinking about this, what we could. Am I allowing the voice of the victims to inform and transfuse and read the reports and get all of the stuff? But the most important voice, I think, for me in understanding is their voice transforming my heart, changing my mind, shaping me. Jesus said this. Jesus said, come to me, all who labor and are burdened. See, done to avoid this in your victim. The very foundation of following Jesus is that we follow a God that died naked, shaping our attention. God stays. And God is present, comforting the brokenhearted, wanting to gather us up. And that's what I'm lives with that pain and somehow redeem it. And that is complex, and that is nuanced, and that is very different than, so favored. It gives this like lit that favored and anointed. Oh, it's to be the one who now says, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden. Happened and is happening. Thank you, God, for this moment that we have. And this really is, help us to be a hope, God. Amen.
Age to age, hour by hour, the God, you're so good. God, you're so good. You're so good, good. God to me. I am blessed, I am called, I am healed, I am whole, I am shaken. Jesus,